Hey, good morning, everyone. So today we have two items that we're going to try to work on. The first of which is to work on our McDonaldization essay. So you're going to see that there is a rubric attached to the essay page, and on the rubric I just want to highlight a few items. One, we essentially want to develop a thesis whereby we make a claim, and in that claim you're either claiming that McDonaldization as a whole is generally good for our society, or as a whole it is generally a negative process for our society. So what you'll do is use your resources that you have. So you have the McDonaldization organizer that lists the components. We also had the McDonaldization Society and Education article that you can reference, as well as any of the other items that we talked about regarding McDonaldization. And you're going to work through and come up with examples for each one of those different components. So when you look at the rubric, it'll say the four components that it's identified and evaluated. So you're going to want to come up with examples for each. Keep in mind those examples should expand beyond just the business realm. So think about education, think about how perhaps social activities or interaction has been impacted by this McDonaldization process, and provide examples in each paragraph where you address the individual components. So for example, for predictability, you would introduce what predictability is, and then you would give some examples of it and tell me why you believe your examples are a pro or a con basically for our society. Essentially, you'll work down through each of those four components, and then by the end, you'll summarize your findings, and basically, your findings should support your thesis then, and it's always a good idea to restate your thesis at the end of the paper. So, when you're looking at your pros and cons, just because you have more cons than pros, it doesn't necessarily mean that your thesis has to say that McDonaldization is overall a negative process. Perhaps the two items you weigh much more heavily than the longer list of evaluations you have. So there's no right or wrong as long as you have clearly given me examples, you've evaluated those, there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of taking the time to really work through this and think about how this process does impact us as individuals. All right, so if you have questions, let me know. Don't forget we have office hours today from 9 to 10 as well as 12 to 1. The second item that I would like you to work on then is the study guide. So we're going to be having a quiz next week on social structure. So make sure that you can address all of the objectives on the first page, as well as all of the vocabulary items that you find in the attached table to the study guide. Use your book, use your notes, use your video guides, etc. And as long as you can answer all of those questions, you should be in good shape. Just make sure you're prepared to ask me about any items on the study guide that you were unable to find, and we'll discuss those in class when we return. All right, so enjoy the snow. We'll talk to you soon.